All right, the Blue Devils lose the first one to the Johnson County Community College Cavaliers. They lose it 5-3. We're getting ready to go here in the second game. We'll do a little sound check. We'll get ready to go. Blue Devils need to come back and get this one. See you in a little bit. All right, Gavin Killian on the mound for the Blue Devils in this second game. Killian is from Hughesville, Missouri. He has a 3.38 ERA. He's 3-0 on the year. He has 6 appearances, 22 strikeouts versus 6 walks with 26 and 2/3 innings pitched. The defense behind him will be Nolan, Dirks, and Schmock across the outfield, Perry, Pachorik, Tolk, and Santiago across the infield, with Kirkham behind the plate in this second game. So we are about ready to get started in this one. The Cavaliers will go with McClure, Schinkel, Miller, Comer, Edwards, Eastonrow, Boston, Bruce, Mancinas, and Rowe, with Novotny on the mound for the Cavaliers. So here we go in the second one. Welcome back to the second game. Thanks for joining me. And here we go. McClure was 1 for 3 in the first game, had a stolen base after a hit by pitch, and had a base hit to lead off the game. And he takes ball 1. The ground ball headed it. Nice kitchen hop up and over to Santiago for the 4-3 ground out. That's going to bring up Schinkel. Schinkel was 0 for 3 in the first game, a strikeout, a couple of ground outs, and a walk. That's low and inside, 1-0 the count. Colton Kirkham behind the dish in this second game with Killian on the mound. Schinkel, the center fielder. Foul ball back and into the screen. Strike. 1 out here in the top of the first. Cavaliers take the first game 5-3. There's a strike, catches the inside corner at the knees. 1-2 the count. Foul ball just reaches out and slaps that one down the left field line to stay alive. Does Schinkel. It's a high fly ball down the right field line, and that's going to be in the corner. A foul ball. A long, loud, high strike. Comes the 1-2 from Killian. There's a ground ball headed at Pachorik. He's up with it and over to Santiago for the 6-3 ground out. Take a quick look. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, there is the flag blowing out toward left. That is going to bring up Mike and Miller. Miller was 0 for 3 in the first game. 0 for 4 in the first game. That's low and inside. Miller grounded out to short once, to first twice, and to second once. There's a one hopper to Tolk and over to Santiago. So 3 up, 3 down with ground outs, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. Your Blue Devils coming up. We'll be back. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure and like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we make an upload or go live. Thanks again. All right, here we go to the bottom half of the first. 3 up, 3 down for the Cavaliers as they start things off. Dirks, Nolan the fourth, and Santiago scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Dirks was 2 for 3 in the first game with a couple of base hits and a walk. That's outside, 1-0 the count. Sam Novotny is on the mound for the Cavaliers. There's a strike, catches the inside corner. Novotny has a 3.46 ERA. He has a 4-1 record. He has 26 innings pitched. The mound for the Cavaliers. There's a ball headed into left field on the run. And making a nice play for the out is the left field Comer. Comer takes a hit away from Dirks. That's going to bring up Nolan the fourth. Nolan the fourth was 0 for 4 in the first game. A couple of strikeouts, a fly out, and a ground out to shortstop. There's a ball headed right back up the middle. That's going to be taken by the second baseman, but outrunning that is Nolan the fourth. So an infield hit for Nolan, the fourth. That's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago was 0 for 3 in the first game with a couple of strikeouts, a fly out, and a walk. First pitch to him is a ball, 1-0 the count. One and 0 the count. There's a ball headed to right field and deep, and that's going to be at the base of the wall. So safe at home on the double by Santiago. To deep by Santiago with that double. And that's an RBI for Santiago. That's going to bring up Pachorik. Pachorik was 1 for 3 in the first game, had an RBI base hit and a walk. That's a strike outside corner at the knees. Santiago at second base after the RBI double. That's a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on here in the first. 1 run in. There's a strike called. You'll find out that this strike zone will be, I'm guessing that this umpire was a pitcher because it has low strikes galore. But it's consistent down there generally. Here comes the 1-2. Foul ball backing out of play. When Pachorik gets 2 strikes, he gets his toes not only in on the chalk, but toward the inside, of the lines, not the chalk these days. So we'll do the 2-2 again. Breaking ball, a high chopper. That's a fair ball and going to be an infield hit for Pachorik. So that's going to bring up Perry. Perry will step in with 1 out, runners at first and second. The ground ball headed at the shortstop over to and safe at first. So they get the fielder's choice of the 6-4 up the middle for the out. Now runners at the corners with 2 outs. That's going to bring up Spencer Smock. Smock was 0 for 2 in the first game with a hit by a pitch, a fly out, and a ground out. Runners now at the corners with 2 outs. Smock swings through that one on a half-hearted swing. Tried to hold up but couldn't. 0-1 the count on Spencer Smock. The ball headed to deep right field. Going to be back against the wall, and a nice play by Schenkel to dive, or actually leap, catch the ball in the air as he approaches the wall. So the Blue Devils get 1 run on 3 hits. They take a 1-0 lead. We go to the second. Thanks for being with me. All right, Comer to the plate here. Lead things off, swings through that one. For strike 1-1 the count. That's high and all the way back to the screen. Comer was 2 for 3 in the first game. Had a double, a stolen base, a home run, a hit by pitch, and another stolen base. There's a swing and a miss of that pitch. So we only got him out once, and that was on a ground ball up the middle where Paciorek grabbed it and stepped on second. 1-2 the count on Jeremy Comer. Cued off the end of the bat. That's going to be foul. That's outside. 2-2 the count as Comer leads off the top of the second inning. Foul ball backing out of play over the third base dugout. Comer, Edwards, and Easton Rowe. The reason I give Easton's first name because playing third base in this second game is Briggs Rowe. I understand they are not related. 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Going to have to toss it down to record the out. And they do. Bring up Riker Edwards. Edwards was over 2 in the first game. Had a couple of walks and a stolen base. First pitch to him is a strike. Swing and a miss. Quickly 0-2 the count on the right fielder, Riker Edwards. In the dirt. The dreaded 55-foot fastball. Way out in front of the plate. 1-2 the count, 1 out. Edwards at the plate. Swing and a miss for another strikeout. So back-to-back strikeouts. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Easton Rowe.
First baseman, Easton Rowe.
Easton Rowe 1 for 3 in the first game with an RBI base hit and a couple of strikeouts. That's way up high. Had an RBI base hit, a base on balls, and a couple of strikeouts did the first baseman. The ball hit it up the middle, and now Dirks takes a base hit away from Easton Rowe with a nice play on that fly into center field. So 3 up, 3 down, and we go to the bottom of the second inning. No score. I'll be back. All right, to the bottom half of the second inning we go. Blue Devils get 1 run on 3 hits in the first inning. They lead as we go to the bottom of the second. It's going to bring up Carter Towns. Towns is the designated hitter in this second game. Towns will step in. First pitch to him is a strike called. I'll come out and get you if I can get it plugged in or something. Maybe over there and plug it in. So my scoreboard phone has lost power. There's a strikeout by Towns. That's going to bring up Colton Kirkham. Kirkham starts the day batting .091. He is coming back from an injury, so that .091 not entirely indicative of anything. So there's a strike called, 0-1 the count. I went to the wrong side of him there. Let's get a quick look of the front side. Sorry about that bad handle of things. And there's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. It's a high chopper toward third. It's a fair ball and a 1-hopper from Briggs Row over to Easton Row for the 5-3 ground out. A very nice play by the third baseman, Briggs Row. That's going to bring up Sawyer Talk. Talk was 1 for 3 in the first game with an RBI base hit. In the 6th inning, he was called out on strikes and had a ground out prior. There's a strike right through there. Breaking ball, and that's going to be a foul ball. That's a little bit low and outside. That's low and inside. Oh, he called him out. Very delayed, but nonetheless a punch out. So a ground out on a great play by the third baseman, Briggs Row, and a couple of strikeouts, so no runs on, no hits. We go to the top of the third inning, leading 1-0. All right, a little bit of technical difficulty with some Chargers. There's a ball hit into left field, and that's going to fall in front of Nolan the fourth. So Boston Bruce with the base hit. That's going to bring Mancinas up. Mancinas was 0 for 3 in the first game, but he did have a ground out that yielded a run. Mancinas squares to bunt, pulls back. So a runner at first, nobody out. One and 0 that count. There's a ground ball headed up the middle. Pachorik takes the ball, comes back, and with a little bit of acrobatics, steps on the bag, throws to first for the 6. Unassisted -3 double play, and that's going to bring up Briggs Rowe. He is playing third base in this game and has already made his presence over there with a really nice play. There's a strike right through there. Swing and a miss of that pitch. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. He starts the day batting .298, but goes down on strikes. So no runs on one hit with the nice play, double play up the middle by Pachorik. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Blue Devils leading 1-0. I'll be back. All right, back to the top of the order, and Dirks, Nolan the fourth, and Santiago scheduled up. Dirks flew out to left field on a nice play by Comer, coming in and diving to take away a hit. Misses outside. 1-1 the count. Dirks is from Kansas City, Kansas. That's down low. 2-2. There's a strike called 2-2 the count. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. That's going to bring up Nolan the fourth. Nolan the fourth is from Fort Worth, Texas. He had a base hit, a high chopper right back up the middle over the pitcher. His first at bat in this game. There's a ground ball headed at the shortstop, Mancinas. Mancinas over to Easton Rowe for the 6-3 ground out. It's going to bring up Santiago.
First baseman, Frankie Santiago.
Santiago had an RBI double deep to the wall over Schinkel right at the base of the wall. His first time up, that's the run we have of the game. 1-0 the count. On the first baseman, Frankie Santiago. There's a strike. Comer, Schinkel, Edwards, left to right across the outfield, across the infield. Briggs Rowe, Mancinas, McClure, Easton Rowe with Bruce behind the plate. Novotny on the mound. There's a ball headed for McClure. He's up with it and over to Easton Rowe for the 4-3 ground out. So a couple of ground outs and a strikeout, and just like that, we go to the top of the fourth inning. Blue Devils leading 1-0. All right, to the top of the fourth inning we go. Blue Devils leading 1-0. McClure, Schinkel, and Miller back to the the first. The first 1, 2, 3, 4 hitters of their lineup, left-handed hitters. There's a swing. McClure is from Gardner, Kansas. He grounded out to Tolk at second base his last time up. There's a foul ball back and out of play. Comes the 0-2 from Killian and inside. One and two the count. Fighting the sun is Dirk, so lets that one come on over toward Nolan the fourth, and Nolan the fourth takes care of that for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Bo Schinkel. Schinkel, the center fielder. Schinkel is from Olathe, Kansas. He takes a strike. The first pitch to him, 0-1 the count. He grounded out to Pachorik at short his last time up. There's a strike right through there. 0-2 the count. That's down low. 1-2 the count now. Ball headed down the right field line. That's going to be foul. One and two the count. And inside, not sure how that didn't hit him. How Kirkham was able to catch that one, but nonetheless he did. 2-2 the count. So now the sunshine comes out bright, which makes that scoreboard so hard to see. 2-2 the count, 1 out. And there's ball 3 inside, so 3-2 the count on Bo Schinkel, the center fielder. To Hopper to Santiago. He's going to race Schinkel over to the bag, and he wins the race for a 3 unassisted ground out. That's going to bring up Mike and Miller. Miller grounded out to Tolk at second base his last time up. He'll step in with 2 outs and nobody on. There's a ball deep into center field. Over to take care of that is Marcus Dirks. So a 3 up, 3 down inning. Couple of fly outs and an assisted ground out. We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Blue Devils lead 1-0. All right, to the bottom half of the 4th inning we go. Blue Devils scheduled to send up Pachorik, Perry, and Smock. Pachorik is from Aurora, Colorado. He had a infield hit, a high chopper to third base. His first at bat in this game. He steps in to lead things off here in the 4th. There's a strike, catches the inside corner. Oh, and 1 the count. There's a ball headed into left field. So Pachorik 2 for 2 in this one. That's going to bring up Cade Perry. Perry will step in with a runner at first base. Perry is from Omaha, Nebraska. That ball's outside. 1-0 the count on the third baseman, Cade Perry. He grounded out to Mancinas his first time up at short. That's outside. 2-0 the count on the third baseman, Cade Perry. Runner at first base is Pachorik. Led the inning off with a hit. There's a strike called. 2-1 the count. Comes the 2-1. Breaking ball's going to be just foul in between Coach Goldbeck and third base down there in the third baseman Briggs row. We've got Rose at the corner, not related. Briggs on the left side at third and Easton on the right side at first. 2-2 the count on the third baseman, Cade Perry. There's a ground ball to Mancinas, and all they'll get is the fielder's choice at second base.
Right fielder, Spencer Smock.
So that'll bring up Smock. Smock is the right fielder. Smock will be up there with one out and nobody on. Runner at first. Runner goes and is going to be out at second base, and caught stealing is Perry.
I think so.
0-1 the count is correct. Smock is from Aurora, Colorado. He swings through that pitch so quickly. 0-2 the count on him, and after the base hit, a fielder's choice and a caught stealing, and there's two down. Fouls that, backs to the screen to stay alive, does Smock. Smock flew out to center field, and Schinkel made a diving catch to take away a hit from him his last time up. That's up high. 1-2 the count. One ball, two strikes, two outs to Smock. Just a little bit low. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And hit by a pitch is Smock. So that's going to bring up Towns.
Carter Towns.
Towns is from Kansas City, Missouri. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at first base. He struck out his first time up. Swing and a miss of that pitch. Runner at first base is the right fielder, Spencer Smock. He was hit by a pitch with a 2-2 count. Squares to bunt, takes a strike, does Carter Towns, the designated hitter. So down in the count, 0-2. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. So no runs on one hit for the Blue Devils. We go to the top of the fifth inning. Blue Devils leading 1-0. All right, to the top of the fifth inning we go. Comer, Edwards, and Easton scheduled up for the Cavaliers. Jeremy Comer steps in. First pitch to him is low and outside. Comer is from Shawnee, Kansas. 1-0 the count. Swing and a miss on that pitch right there. 1-1 the count now. It's low and inside, 2-1. Three and one the count now on Jeremy Comer, the left fielder. He struck out his first time up in this one. There's a strike called outside half of the plate, but at the knees. 3-2 the count. There's a ball off the end of the glove of Santiago, and headed into second base is Comer with a double. It's going to bring up Riker Edwards. Edwards is from Smithville, Missouri. Edwards struck out his first time up in this second game. That ball misses inside, 1-0 the count. Swing and a miss of that pitch. 1-1 the count. Comer led off with a double into the right field corner just off the tip of Santiago's glove. There's a ball headed over to the dugout. His teammates of the Cavaliers by Riker Edwards. He's the right fielder for the Cavaliers. One and two the count. The high fly ball on the infield. The care of that is Cade Perry.
That is number 11, Easton Rowe.
So that's going to bring up Easton Rowe. Rowe will step in with one out and a runner at second base. Easton Rowe is from Pleasant Hill, Missouri. That ball's up high, 1-0 the count. Killian in his 5th inning of work. Comes the 1-0. Outside blocked nicely by Kirkham. The high chopper Santiago is going to glove it over to the bare hand of Killian for the 3-1 ground out for the second out of the inning.
27, Boston Bruce.
That's going to bring up Boston Bruce. Bruce is from Atchison, Kansas. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at third base. Guys, can you hand me that other? Let's see if that's charged enough to.
You just said it needed unlocked.
Oh. There's a ball headed right back up the middle for an RBI base hit. So Bruce with base hits in the 3rd and 5th inning for an RBI. That's going to bring up Mancinas. Mancinas will step in. Toss over to first, nothing going on over there. Mancinas is from Kansas. He hit into a 6-3 double play. A nice play by Pachorik to go to the second base side, get the ball, change direction, step on second, and shoot it over to first base for the 6-3 double play. 1-0 the count here on Mancinas. Boston Bruce at first base draws a throw from Killian. In the dirt, blocked nicely by Kirkham. 2-0 the count now on Chris Mancinas, the shortstop for Johnson. It's up high, 3-0 the count. There's a strike. Won the count. Foul ball back and out of play. And 2, runner goes, and he slaps it foul. Does Mancinas. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Boston Bruce retreats back to first. He'll be off with the pitch again. Foul ball back to the screen, so he'll go back to first again. Guys, how about the score to the Royals game? Got anything going on over there? 4-3, the Guardians. What inning? Bottom of the 6th inning. Comes the 3-2, runner goes, and that's ball 4. So Mancinas works a walk, couple of fouls with 2 strikes.
Third baseman, number 10, Briggs Rowe.
That's going to bring up Briggs Rowe. Rowe struck out his first time out. Rowe is from Stillwater, Oklahoma. He's playing third base in this second game. See how much the wind's blowing on that camera. On top of the dugout, there's a ball to Perry, and Perry is going to get it off and over. So he knocks it down. It bounces away. He shoots it over and gets a short hop, almost a long hop to Santiago for a nice job of Santiago saving things, saving an error right there for him. So we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Blue Devils leading. It's all tied up at 1. The Cavaliers got 1 run on 2 hits to tie things up. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, all tied up. All right. Colton Kirkham, the catcher, will step in. Kirkham is from Platte City, Missouri. First pitch is a strike. Kirkham with a nice play by the third baseman, was out his last time up. Third baseman in Briggs Rowe knocked the ball off of him and was able to recover and shoot him out at first base over to Easton Rowe. So a nice play by the Rows. It's a ground ball headed to Mancinas. Mancinas over to Easton Rowe for the 6-3 ground out. It's going to bring up Sawyer Talk. Talk is from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Misses low and inside. 1-0 the count. All tied up here in the bottom of the fifth inning. We are just one out past halfway in this one. 9-inning scheduled game. That ball goes outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Talk was called out on strikes his last time up. That misses low and inside. 3-0 the count now. Talk leading off, with 1 out in the bottom of the fifth inning. There's a strike right through there. 3-1 the count. It's low and outside. So Novotny in his fifth inning of work.
I'm betting the center fielder, Marcus Dirks.
Back to the top of the order in Marcus Dirks. Dirks 0 for 2 in this game. Nice play by the left fielder, Comer, to take away a hit. Toss over to first. Nothing going on over there. It's a ground ball headed at the second baseman. And they're going to get the fielder's choice on the McClure to Mancinas, but you're not going to get Dirks at first. So the fielder's choice he reaches by. That's going to bring up Nolan the fourth. Nolan the fourth will step in with 2 outs and a runner at first base. His first at bat in this game, he had a base hit right back up the middle, and then he grounded out to Mancinas at short his second at bat. So 1 for 2 in this second game. They'll toss over to first. Marcus Dirks, the center fielder, back safely over there. Another toss over. Sam Novotny on the mound for the Cavaliers. 0-2 the count now. Swing and a miss of the high heater for the strikeout. So no runs on no hits for the Blue Devils in the fifth. We go to the top of the sixth, 9-inning scheduled game. Here the second game is a 9-inning game. Blue Devils dropped the first one to the Cavaliers 5-3. I'll be back. All right, to the top of the sixth inning, we go back to the top of the order. McClure, Schinkel, and Miller scheduled up for the Cavaliers. Killian back for another inning of work. That ball drops a little bit low, 1-0 the count. McClure has been out on a ground out to the second baseman, Tolk, and out on a far center, 0 for 2 in this second game. There's a strike. One and one the count. Nobody out. Top of the sixth inning action. There's a ground ball. Tolk. It's going to be a base hit to the second base side of the second baseman. It's going to bring up Schinkel. Schinkel has been out on a couple of ground balls, one to Patrick at short and one to Santiago at first. Kirkham out with how we're going to deploy the bunt defense against Bo Schinkel. Schinkel squares to the bunt and takes the ball. One and 0 the count. Blue Devils with one in the first, one in the fifth for the Cavaliers to be all tied up at one. Both teams with 4 hits, neither team with an error. Runner goes, and Kirkham can't get a handle on the ball, so McClure with the stolen base. Two and 0 the count on the center fielder, Bo Schinkel. Runner in scoring position, Cade in on the grass 2 or 3 steps. Takes outside, so 3 and 0 the count. There's a strike inside half of the plate right through there. 3 and 1 the count. Foul ball backing over the third base dugout. That'll be outside the fenced area where they'll have to go fund and run that one down. 3 and 2 the count now. There's a ball headed into right field. That's going to get over Smock. Going to have a run score on the double by Bo Schinkel. So going to take the lead on that base hit right there. We're going to get a visit to the mound. Looks like we're going to take a second or two here. Coach Golbeck started to go out, and then maybe he's going to take a little bit of time here to let the Cavaliers have an offensive visit. Mike and Miller will be up after we find out if there's going to be a change or not. So 2-1 the lead now, back-to-back innings. The Cavaliers have put up a run, still nobody out here in the inning. Looks like we're going to get a pitching change. We will get Pitching change being made by the Blue Devils. Jake Titus from Ottawa, Kansas will come in. Titus has a 4.26 ERA. 0-1 is his record. He's had 2 appearances with 6 1/3 innings, 12 strikeouts, 5 base on balls. He will come in and take over with a runner at second base that is still responsibility of Killian. Devils trail 2-1 here in the top of the 6th. Runner at second base, nobody out, with Mike and Miller coming to the plate. Two-thirds, 6 out of 9 of the batters are left-handed for Johnson. Mike and Miller has grounded out and been a fly out to center field. That's his 2 at-bats in the second game. That's up high for ball 1. That's 91 on the speed gun right there. 1-0 the count. No matter how hard you throw it, if you don't put it in the strike zone. All the way back to the screen, so that wild pitch, and the runner moves over to third. So runner at third now, 2-0 the count. On the designated hitter, Mike and Miller. Thank you. And there's ball 4.
Number 26, Jeremy Comer.
So that's going to bring up Comer. Runners at the corners now. Comer's had a strikeout and a double in this game. That's up high for ball 1. Two and one the count. One hopper to Tolk and not able to get the scoop on that one. So Pachorik's throw is a little bit wild over there. So we could not get the double play.
16, Riker Edwards.
So that's going to bring up Edwards. Makes the score 3-1. So Edwards is up. Edwards 0 for 2 in this second game. That misses outside for ball 1. Edwards been out on a strikeout and popped out high on the infield to Cade Perry, but clear over between pitcher's mound and second base. That's up high, 2-0 the count. There's a high heater and a swing and miss. So Edwards went after that high fastball at 92 miles an hour. Comes up empty. Would be 3-0 count if he had decided. We'll be thankful for that strike. Here comes the 2-1. Breaking ball just misses inside the zone, and I'll watch to see if the guy's head shake a little bit. Seems to have tightened up just a little bit. 3-1 the count. I'm sure the umpire thinks otherwise, but it looks to have gotten a little tight to us up here. But our call does not matter, only his does. So 3-1 the count with one out. Runner at first base is Comer. Another throw over there, back in safely. And there's ball 4.
Number 11, Easton Rowe.
That's going to bring up Easton Rowe. He's been out on a fly to center field to Marcus Dirks, and out on a ground ball, Santiago to Killian covering. So 0 for 2 in this second game is Rowe. That ball misses inside. One and 0 the count. Runner at first and second with one out. That ball's up. 2-0 the count.
Nobody up. One out. No, up. You said nobody up.
So anyone getting loose?
Yeah, 41.
Comes the 2-0. That ball is pass ball, probably, in my opinion, even as me being a catcher. Most catchers would have thought they'd have had that, so the runners move up on the pass ball. So now runners at second and third, one out. Easton Rowe at the plate. There's a foul ball. Three balls, one strike, one out. Runners at second and third. Comer and Edwards. Just misses a little bit outside. That's going to bring up Boston Bruce.
27, Boston Bruce.
Bruce had a base hit in the third and an RBI base hit in the fifth. He's 2 for 2 in this second game. He had a home run and a base hit in the first game. And in the rundown out at home is Comer.
That's big. That's huge. How are they even yelling?
So 2 outs now with runners at second and third.
Was that a ball?
I believe that was a ball, but I couldn't bank on it. 1-0 the count sounds good to me. Know if we're wrong. That's low and outside. We'll see what we get right here. 3-1 the score here in the top of the sixth. 9 innings scheduled game. There's a strike. Now a little bit here. I'm guessing the 2-1 is right. There's a breaking ball. So come on, there, Blue. Give me a break. Okay, that's a little bit tough on my part here. But when the runner starts to third and starts patting Eddie's elbow pad, that's why I'm not a fan of the elbow pads. If it's going to hurt a little bit, then you need to be able to stay in there and take it. Nonetheless, Boston Bruce hit by a pitch.
22, Chris Mancinas.
So Chris Mancina steps in. He hit into a double play and walked in this one. He's up there with 2 outs and the bases full of Cavaliers. There's a strike on the inside corner. Owen won the count. Breaking ball stays way outside. 1-1 the behind the batter, and Kirkham comes up throwing. Only 2/3 of the way to the plate was Titus, but the run not able to score from third. He had second thoughts since the last guy that tried to score from third was out in a rundown. Two and one. There's a strike at the belt right through there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runs in the inning. Just a little bit inside. Don't be afraid, Blue. Ring him up in there. 1-2 the count. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. Runners go, and ball 4. So Mancinas with the base on balls for another RBI. Makes the score 5-1. We're going to get a visit to the mound. I'm guessing a pitching change. We'll see if there's a change. We'll be back. Blue Devils trail 5-1 here in the top of the 6th. Excuse me, make that 4-1. All right, the pitching change has been made. Carter Beach comes in, has a 2.16 ERA. 0-0 is his record. He's pitched 8 1/3 innings. He's from Overland Park, Kansas. He'll toe the slab with the bases loaded and 2 outs. There's a strike on the out corner. Briggs Rowe, the third baseman, he is struck out and grounded out. That misses outside. 1-1 the count. 2 outs. Beach on relief of Titus, who was on in relief of Killian. 1-1 the count on Briggs Rowe. Foul ball back to the screen. 1-2 the count. There's the pitch. That drops just a little bit low. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. To the third baseman, Briggs Rowe. That's going to be either on top of us or over the top of us. That was on top of us. We'll do the 2-2 again. Comes the stretch and the pitch from Carter Beach.
That's there.
Strike 3 called, yes sirree. So the Cavaliers get 3 runs on 2 hits. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Blue Devils trailing 4-1. I'll be back. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure and like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we make an upload or go live. Thanks again. All right, here we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Sam Novotny back for his 6th inning of work. He started this one for the Cavaliers. Warwick and Perry scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Santiago takes a breaking ball right through the middle. Santiago has an RBI double to the wall in center field and a ground out to McClure at second in this one. There's another breaking ball. He just gets that off the fist and over to the third base dugout on top of it. And quickly 0-2 the count. Novotny ahead of Santiago. That misses outside. 1-2 the count. Comes the 1-2. Breaking ball headed down the left field line. That's going to be extra bases for Santiago. Santiago into second base with a double into the right field corner. And that's going to bring up Pachorik.
Number 5, Tanner Pachorik.
The Blue Devils trail by 3, but they get a lead off double into the left field corner by Santiago. And now Pachorik will step in. Pachorik's 2 for 2. He had an infield hit and then drove one through between short and third his last time up through the hole. There's a strike on the outside corner. Runner at second base. Pachorik at the plate. There's a ball headed into right center. Headed for third base and is in there safely is Santiago. Make an appeal to second base and calls him safe. So Santiago moves over
23, Cade Perry.
to third, and that's going to bring up Perry. Cade Perry steps in. He's been out on ground balls to the shortstop, both fielders' choice at second base both times this game. 1-0 the count on him. That's down low. You have to wait so long before you say down low because you never know for sure. He may have the most delayed call ever. That's down low. 3-0 the count on Perry. Perry, the third baseman. Santiago over at third. He had a double and then moved up on the fly ball. There's a strike right through there. The fly ball by Pachorik got him over to third. There's a ball headed into center field. We're going to get a tag here and a play at home again. And the sac fly by Perry. And the Blue Devils have their second run. So a couple of sac flies to move him over and to bring him in. And that's going to bring up Spencer Smock. So that makes the score 4-2. Smock steps in with 2 outs. Breaking ball right back through there. Smock was out on a nice play by the center fielder Schenkel to get him, and then he was hit by a pitch in the fourth. That's down low, 1-1 the count. Little bit of a flinch out of the ump there, but still called the ball 2-1 the count. Action, 1 run in to make it a 4-2 game. 2-1 the count on the right fielder Spencer Smock. There's a little check swing foul ball off the knob. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2-run lead by the Cavaliers. Breaking ball going to be strike 3 called. So Smock gets frozen by the breaking ball. The Blue Devils get 1 run on 1 hit. We go to the top of the 7th inning. Blue Devils trail the Cavaliers 4-2. I'll be back. All right, here we go to the top of the 7th inning. 9-inning scheduled game. Blue Devils trail 4-2.
Second baseman Jake McClure.
So back to the top of the order, and McClure. That misses up or out. Not sure which. Want to know the count. 4-2 the score. McClure, the second baseman. He's 1 for 3 with a base hit. His last time up. That misses low and inside for 2-0 the count. There's a strike inside corner at the knees. Nolan the fourth, Dirks and Smock across the outfield. Perry, Pachorik, Tolkien, Santiago across the infield. Kirkham behind the plate with Carter Beach on in relief. That ball misses outside. 3-1 the count. It's a high fly ball into right field. Coming in to take care of that is Spencer Smock for the first out of the inning.
Center fielder Bo Schinkel.
So that's going to bring up Schinkel. Schinkel had an RBI double his last time up. 1 for 3 in this second game. That misses outside. 1-0 the count. That misses down low. 2-0 the count. So ball headed into center field for a base hit.
DH Mike and Miller.
So that's going to bring up Miller. Miller is 0 for 2 with a walk in this second game. Runner at first base is Bo Schinkel. He's the center fielder. So ball deep into the corner. So a double by Mike and Miller. Runners at second and third. That's going to bring up Comer. Comer is 1 for 3 with a double into the right field corner his last time up. He did get an RBI on his third at bat on a fielder's choice. It was a double play that didn't end up being a double play. And a balk is called. So the balk accounts for a run. That's outside, nicely blocked by Kirkham. 1-0 the count.
That was a wait. No. That was a wait. He scores at 62.
That's outside.
I just set the run back. No, it's 5-2. Yeah. It's 5-2. No, it's 6-2.
Yeah, we got you, Blue. He's trying to tell us it's 2-0 and we're trying to fix the score. It's not always easy when you're just looking at one thing. There's a strike, 2-1 the count.
But it's probably going to be
5-2 is the score. There is a swing and a miss. Two balls, two strikes, and an out. Runners at second and third. 5-2 the score. There's a ball right at Pachorik. Going to come to home, and the ball's off the edge of the glove. So Comer reaches on a fielder's choice. And that's going to make it now 6-2.
16 right here, Edwards.
That's going to bring up Riker Edwards. The runner moves down to second base. There's a high chopper headed up the middle. It's going to be grabbed by Tolk. Tolk hustles over just on the shortstop side to get that ball. And that's going to be a 4-3 ground out. So the runner moves over to third. That's going to bring up Easton Rowe. One and 0 the count. 2 outs, 1-0. Runner at third. 6-2 the score. Foul ball out of play by the first baseman, Easton Rowe. Easton Rowe batting sixth. He's the first baseman. And Briggs Rowe batting ninth. He's the third baseman. No relation. There's a ball, gets away from Kirkham, but not far enough for the run to score. 2-1 the count. Way outside. 3-1 the count. Beach on relief of Titus and Killian. Can see how much the wind is blowing if you watch the sleeves of the field umpire. When he stands up, there's a swing and a miss. Watch when he stands up straight, see how his pants and his shirt are blowing. So the wind really blowing out to left. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 6-2 the lead now. Out in front of that one, swinging is Rowe. We'll do the 3-2 again. Foul ball back into the net. We'll do the 3-2 again. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Blue Devils scored 1 in the first, 1 in the sixth. The Cavaliers have scored 1 in the fifth, 3 in the sixth, 2 here in the seventh for this 6-2 lead. There's a ball headed up the middle. That's an RBI base hit for Easton Rowe.
Boston Bruce.
So that's going to bring up Boston Bruce. Bruce will step in with the runner at first base and 2 outs. 7-2 the score now. And a diving play by the second baseman, Tolk, out into right field to take a hit away from Bruce. The Cavaliers get 3 runs on 3 hits. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Blue Devils trailing 7-2. I'll be back. All right, pinch hitting for the Blue Devils is Barham, number 11. He starts the day batting .333. There's a strike called, 0-1 the count. That misses for a ball, 1-1 the count. There's a hit by a pitch. So leadoff hit by a pitch.
Catcher Colton Kirkham.
That's going to bring up Kirkham. Kirkham is 0 for 2 on the day. A ground out to third and a nice play by Rowe and a ground out to shortstop Mancinas. Breaking ball stays up and in. There's a strike right through there. 1-1 the count. Breaking ball breaks way outside. Two one. That's pretty good pitch right there, but we'll take a ball. 3-1 the count. There's a strike outside corner at the knees. So 3-2 the count. Comes the 3-2 from Novotny, and there's a ball right over the top of him, and that's going to be a 4-3 double play.
Second baseman Sawyer Tolk.
So that's going to bring up Tolk. Tolk is 0 for 1 in the second. Game's been called out on strikes and reached on a base on balls. Breaking ball stays up. Want to know the count on the second baseman, Sawyer Tolk. There's a strike outside corner at the knees. Outside half of the plate. 7-2 the lead now for Johnson Cavaliers. There's a strike inside corner at the knees. 1-2 the count. Breaking ball, that's going to maybe get out of play. No, it's not. The wind kept that from being out of play, but sorry, I make a bad choice on the camera right there. I thought it was going to be out of place. So you can see just how brisk the wind is coming out of the south, headed out to left field. Nobody's gotten one up in that stream yet. We'd take one here. That's outside. 89 miles per hour was that fastball. 2 outs after the hit by pitch and the double play. That breaks outside. Three and two the count. That's inside ball 4. So the 2-out walk, and we're back to the top of the order. It's going to bring up Dirks. Dirks will step in with a runner at first base and 2 outs. Novotny trying to get as far into this one as he can. That's a little bit high. Going to get a visit to the mound, probably to give this reliever time to get warmed up. We'll take a short break. We'll be back. Blue Devils trail 7-2 here in the bottom of the seventh. I'll be back. All right, short visit to the mound is over. Runner at first base is Talk. Dirks at the plate. Dirks 0 for 3 in this game. Had a strikeout, a ground out, and a fly out on a nice play by Comer in left field to take away a hit. There's a strike called 1-1 the count. There's a breaking ball. That's a pretty good looking pitch right there, ruled inside and or low. It's okay to agree that that was a good looking pitch, guys, even when it's on us. 2-1 the count on Dirks. There's a strike outside corner at the knees. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There's a ball headed into left field. So Dirks with the base hit. All right, we're going to get a visit to the mound. We're going to get a pitching change. Blue Devils have 2 on and 2 outs here in, the bottom of the 7th. We'll get this pitching change, and we'll be back for the final of this one. We'll be back. Pitching change has been made for the Cavaliers. Luke Fricker will come in. He is from Parkville, Missouri. He is going to bring to the mound with him an ERA of 2. Has a 1-1 record. He has 10 2/3 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts, 7 walks, and is given up 5 hits. He will take over for Novotny, who goes 6 2/3 innings, giving up just 2 runs. So that's going to bring up Nolan the 4th. And a miss of that ball. Nolan, the fourth, steps in with 2 outs and runners at first and second for the Blue Devils. That's inside. 1-1 the count. 7-2 lead for the Cavaliers. Blue Devils trail by 5 as they hit with 2 outs and 2 on here in the bottom of the 7th. Foul ball back to the screen. So 1-2 the count on the left fielder, Freddie Nolan, the fourth. Way outside. Boston Bruce catching this second game goes way outside to keep the runners at first and second there on that pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There's a ball headed to the shortstop, and the shortstop underhands that. Does Mancinas over to McClear for the fielder's choice. 6-4 fielder's choice. The Blue Devils get no runs on 1 hit. And we go to the top of the 8th inning. Blue Devils trailing 7-2. I'll be back. All right, the pitching change has been made by the Blue Devils. James Dooley comes in, a 4.5 ERA. He will take over here in the top of the 8th for the Blue Devils. Dooley is from Kansas City, Missouri. Mancinas, Rowe, and it's outside. Mancinas has walked a couple of times, hit into a 6, touched the bag over to 3 double plays, 6 unassisted 3, and that misses outside. 2-0 the count. One of his base on balls did yield a run. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. Two and one the count. Breaking ball goes down and inside. Makes it 3-1. That's up high for ball 4. So a leadoff walk here in the 8th inning, and that's going to bring up Briggs Rowe. Excuse me, have a pinch hitter. Number 4, Carter Kelly. will pinch hit.
Batting number 4, Carter Kelly.
Kelly was the third baseman in the first game, called upon to hit here and most likely come in and play third as a defensive replacement. 1-1 the count on Kelly. There's a strike, catches the inside corner. Kelly is from North Platte, Nebraska. Runner at first, nobody out. 1-2 the count. Throw over to first, nothing going on over there. That's inside. 2-2 the count now. Ball whistled by coach down there in the third base box. Little high at chopper. 2-2 the count. Swing and a miss. First base I'll get from the catcher, but still an out.
Second baseman Jake McClure.
So back to the top of the order and McClure. McClure is 1 for 4. Had a base hit, a couple of flyouts, and a ground out. Low and inside, 1-0 the count. Dooley on in relief of Beach, Titus, and Killian. Toss over to first. Back in safely is Mancinas. Squares to bunt, and once again his feet are set and ready to throw, and he doesn't get a handle on the ball. Kirkham just back from a wrist injury, I believe, and so working his way back. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and 1 on. 7 lead. There's a strike right through there, 1-2 the count. Comes the 1-2, and safe call on the check swing. So 2-2 the count now. Blocked, but once the runner, Mancinas, saw him drop to his knees and the ball not cleanly caught, headed on over to third to move up on the wild pitch. There's a ball right up the middle. So right over the top of Dooley and McClure with the base hit for an RBI. Makes it 8-2. That's going to bring up Schinkel. Schinkel is 2 for 4 in this one with an RBI double and a single. Runner at first base is McClure. stays outside. 2-0 the count. One ball, 3-1 the count. Runner goes. And poor job on my part choosing that camera, but nonetheless a fly out to Perry at third. So 2 outs now. Runner still at first base. Toss over to first, nothing going on over there. So ball hit it up the middle, right at Dirks. He comes on hard to get that. So 1 run on 1 hit. And we go to the bottom of the 8th inning with the Cavaliers leading 8-2. I'll be back. All right, to the bottom of the 8th inning we go. Blue Devils trailing 8-2. Santiago, Pachorik, and Perry scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Santiago 2 for 3 with a couple of doubles, one of them with an RBI. He'll step in to lead things off here in the bottom of the 8th for the Blue Devils. In tight on the plate. That's outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count. That misses outside. 2-0 the count. Pretty good looking pitch right there on the outside corner. We'll take the ball. 2-0 the count. There's a strike on the inside corner. Santiago now backs off the plate just a bit. 2-1 the count. There's a fly ball into left field. And that's going to be taken care of as he goes out of sight. of the camera does Comer for the first out of the inning.
For 5-10, Paciorek.
So that'll bring up Paciorek. Paciorek is 2 for 3 with a couple of base hits and a flyout, so 2 for 3. He steps in with 1 out and nobody on. There's a strike right through there. Starting to see a little bit of glare in my window here, and I see why. I used to have some papers taped over the window back here, and somebody has taken those papers away and thrown them away. Probably didn't realize what those were back there for. 0-2. There's a defensive swing that fouls it away, and able to stay alive is Paciorek. Comes the 0-2. Swing, check swing, called a strike for the strikeout. For the second out of the inning. We could just leave that door open enough to do it. Right there. Thank you. On the outside corner, Cade Perry, 2 outs to him. And 1 the count on Perry, way outside. Perry is hit into a couple of fielders' choice and had a sac fly as an RBI. So right there, 91-mile-an-hour heater brought up there by Fricker, Luke Fricker from Parkville, Missouri. Comes the 1-2 and a ground ball headed at McClure. McClure up with it and over to Rowe for the 4-3 ground out. A 3-up, 3-down inning for Fricker of Parkville, Missouri. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Blue Devils trail 8-2. I'll be back. All right, the pitching change has been made by the Blue Devils. Number 25, Avery Oravets from Wildwood, Missouri. Oravets with a ERA, no record thus far. He has thrown 6 innings of work. He will take over for Dooley. There's a strike called to Comer. Comer, Edwards, and Easton Rowe scheduled up for the Cavaliers. That falls a little bit low. 1-1 the count. Top of the ninth inning action. Cavaliers with an 8-2 lead. They won the first game 5-3. There's a ball headed for the gap in right center. Going to be extra bases. And heading for third. And here comes the throw. He's going to be safe. Just barely in there. That looked like he was going to get him, but as he was to the outfield, looked like it could go either way. So a triple for Comer.
16 right here, Edwards.
So that's going to bring up Edwards. Edwards will step in. He is 0 for 3 with a walk in this game. Fouls that one back to the screen. 0-1 the count. It's a ground ball that's going to just get past Pachorik. So an RBI base hit. Makes it 9-2. In row. Foul ball off of the ankle there. Rowe is 1 for 3 with an RBI base hit and a walk in this one. Oh and 1 the count. Umpire takes the ball out to Oravets, giving him a little time to shake that off. 0-1 the count on the first baseman, Ethan Rowe. Goes Pachorik to get that ball, so the fielder on the 6-4 from Pachorik over to Tolk.
27, Boston Bruce.
And that's going to bring up Boston Bruce. Bruce is 2 for 3. He has an RBI base hit, another base hit, and a hit by pitch in this one. 2 for 3 in the second game. There's a strike, catches the outside corner, top part of the zone. Oh and 1 the count. That's low and outside. Nice job by Kirkham getting out wide to keep that from going back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. 1 run in thus far here in the top of the ninth. There's a high chopper that's going to be taken by the second baseman, Tolk, and over to Santiago for the 4-3 ground out. That's going to bring up Mancinas.
Number 22, Chris Mancinas.
Mancinas will step in with 2 outs and a runner at second base. There's a strike called on Mancinas. He hit into a 6. Unassisted step on second base over to first base for a 6-3 double play, and then is walked 3 times, one of them for an RBI. That's outside, picked by Kirkham. 1-1 the count. Foul ball backing out of play. 1-2 the count. Well, Avery Oravet's on in relief. Dooley, Beach, Titus, and Killian all used in this game. Comes the 1-2, and that's up high. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Want to thank everyone for watching and or listening today. I always like to look up there and see 70 to 100 people watching. There's a ball sprayed over into the Cavaliers dugout. We'll do the 2-2 again. Pretty good looking pitch right there, ruled outside, 3-2 the count. We had one of those that was called a ball for us, so it was not unusually or usually called necessarily. Here comes the 3-2. That's a pretty good looking pitch right there, ruled a ball, base on balls. That's going to bring up Carter Kelly. He pinch hit his last time up for Briggs Row and struck out. In the first game, he was 0 for 3, reached on an error and grounded out and was called out on strikes. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Blue Devils trail 9-2 here. Foul ball back to the screen so quickly. 0-2 the count. On the third baseman, Carter Kelly. One and two the count, way outside. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. There's a base hit right down the line. Cade Perry with a great job just getting over and saving extra bases right there.
17, Jake McClure.
So back to the top of the order, and McClure. That is a strike called right there. McClure is 2 for 5 in this game. Couple of base hits, one of them with 4 in RBI. There's a line drive snagged out of the air by Cade Perry. So 1 run on 3 hits. We go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Blue Devils need a bunch to send this thing into extras or win it. They trail by 7. I'll be back. Nolan Hertzke is pinch hitting for Schmock. Fouls that back and over behind us. I should enunciate better when I'm given those.
It's late. You probably did.
That's up and in, so 2-1 that count. Hertzke is from Windsor, Colorado. Foul ball over and out of play. Hertzke with a .333 batting average. He has 3 at-bats and 1 hit. Small sample size, but nonetheless, .333. There's a ball headed over to third. That is Kelly over to Easton Row for the ground out. Harrison Barham now will come up with 1 out.
Harrison Barham.
1 out, so the Blue Devils down to their last 2 outs. Barham was hit by a pitch when he pinch hit for Towns a while ago, and there's a base hit into right field. So Harrison Barham with a base hit into right.
Batting number 8, Arthur Alvarez.
That's going to bring up Arthur Alvarez with a pinch hitting opportunity. Runner at first base. There's a strike called. Deep in the batter's box is Alvarez, trying to be right on the edge of it. There's a ball headed into right field, and I chose the wrong camera there with Alvarez gets a fly out to right field, and that was Edwards to take care of that. So that's going to bring up Sawyer Talk. Did we get a pinch runner down here? Oh, it is number 4 with the pinch hit. That's going to be Holden Finley. He starts the day batting 138. So Finley at the plate with 2 outs and a runner at first base. That's up high. I was seeing the 4 of the position and the 4. Thought we had the correct hitter. Finley is from Topeka, Kansas. 3-0 the count on him. Two outs, that's outside. So Finley with the base on balls. Back to the top of the order, going to have another pinch hitter. Tannen Buss from Olathe, Kansas will step in. Buss starts the day batting 118, so has an opportunity here to pinch hit with 2 outs and 2 on here with the Blue Devils trailing by 7 here in the bottom of the 9th. So Buss at the plate. That's up high for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Runners at first and second. Buss at the plate. There's a strike on the outside corner. 1-1 the count now. Fricker on in relief of Novotny. Novotny went 6 2/3 innings. That's up high, 2-1 the count. Novotny gave up 2 runs on 6 hits in his 6 2/3 innings on the mound. There's a ball headed into right field on the run coming in. That's going to be an RBI base hit for Buss.
Batting number 10, Jackson Bowman.
So number 10, Jackson Bohm, will pinch hit for the Blue Devils. Bohm will step in. Bohm bats .667 on the start of the day. He has 3 appearances with 2 hits, so a small sample size, yet it's still .667. There's a strike, catches the outside corner to Bohm. So runners at first and second, 9-3 your score now here in the bottom of the 9th. There's a swing and a miss of that pitch. Didn't want to, but he did. 1-1 the count on Jackson Bohm. Bohm is from Olathe, Kansas. That's way outside. Nice job by the catcher, Bruce, to go out and keep that one from going back to the screen. So Bruce still working hard back there. Boston Bruce. And another backhand out there keeping the ball in front of him. That's outside. 3-2 the count. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Runner at third will not be running. Runner at first will be. There he goes. And a foul ball headed over to the soccer field. Three balls, 2 strikes. We'll do it again. Bohm in a battle with Luke Fricker from the Cavaliers. And strike 3 called on the inside corner. So the Blue Devils lose the second one 9-3. They lost the first one 5-3. So that's it for this one. Bulls lose 2 to the Johnson Cavaliers. You will find links at forties.com or in the parent group on WhatsApp for the games on Saturday. So that'll do it for me here in J-Force of Forties today. And we will see you. Actually, I won't see you. I'll be watching the game from my parents' house. Had a little surgery by Dad today. I'm going to go spend the night with him, be with him tomorrow and Saturday. So have a great evening. Saturday, join the game. Go to 4ts.com or the parent group on WhatsApp. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. Be safe.